Boat captain hauls a net of human bones onto her deck at sunrise. Skulls, ribs, rings still on fingers, and her dying crewman stares at her in horror. "What have you done?" he asks. She has no answer except this: she collected the past to buy them a future. 5 centuries later, another woman is about to find a different kind of salvage. Rebecca is 19, a college student in 1983 Cincinnati, and she's just played her dead grandmother's answering machine. A funeral home voice says, matter of fact, "We accept the bodies of those diagnosed with GRID. Her uncle Benjamin didn't die of pneumonia the way her mother told her. He died of AIDS. He was gay, and everything her family said about him was a lie." These two women will never meet, but they are holding the same question. What do you do with a story someone else couldn't finish? And for Yesiko the captain, it's a debt tattooed on her throat and a crew she doesn't trust. Her passengers believe an astronaut is returning to Earth after centuries, and the only proof that their story might be real is a self-aware robot who has been waiting longer than any of them have been alive. For Rebecca, it's 4 floppy disks her uncle left behind, labeled Homebound, containing an unfinished text adventure game he wrote for her, and a letter that begins, "I love you exactly as you are." Homebound is Portia Elan's debut novel. It's a story about two women who inherit stories they were never supposed to finish and what it cost them to try, and underneath both timelines runs a single conviction: that finishing the story for someone who couldn't might be the truest way to bring them home. Episode 1: Code, Bones, and a Secret Message. Rebecca Meir leans against the humming terminal in Baldwin Hall, the lab empty except for her. Outside, the Cincinnati spring does its thing: mud, wet sidewalks, students shouting, but inside the computer lab, everything follows rules. She types her passcode into the door and the lock clicks open. The machine accepts the input. It does not judge. It does not lie. She slides into the chair in front of one of the Apple IS and lets her backpack thump to the floor. The screen glows green. A cursor blinks. What she loves about code is that it is the thing. When you type a command, the machine does it. Language between people is different. It's a glaze over the realness of action, a bubble you cannot touch or count on. Way, words can mean 5 things. Can twist, can be used to cover up what actually happened. But code is the doing. Code is the thing itself. Everything it needs is inside the computer. Her uncle Benjamin knew this. He was a programmer at Infocom, the company that makes those text adventure games she's played 100 times. Zork, Planetfall, Deadline. He was the one who sent her a handwritten BASIC program in the mail when she was 11. She typed it into the family Commodore PET line by line, and when it ran, a sailboat appeared on the screen, tiny and perfect, made of asterisks and equal signs. She still has that piece of paper folded in her desk drawer. Now Benjamin is dead. She has been told he died of pneumonia. She opens a file and begins to type. The program is simple. It will ask for Tade's date. It will subtract. It will tell her exactly how many days she has lived without him. LOADDAYSSINCE asterisk 8. 1 SEARCHINGFORDAYSSINCE asterisk LOADINGREADYRUNWHATISTHEYEAR 1983 WHATISTHEMONTH 4 WHATISTHEDATE 5 ITHASBEEN 37 DAYSSINCEYOURUNCLEDIED 37. She stares at the number. The green glow burns it into her retinas. Then she adds more lines. She wants it formatted, clean, final. She wants the machine to hold this fact for her so she doesn't have to. But when she runs it again, the screen fills with something else entirely. The cursor blinks beside the question mark. The error is in line 12. She can see where the problem is. She could fix it. Her fingers rest on the keys. She does not fix it. She deletes the whole file instead. Life is not something you can debug. No amount of clean syntax will make the dead stand back up. She shuts down the terminal. The screen goes dark. She sits in the silence for a long moment, then shoulders her backpack and walks out into the spring night, past the broken clock on the wall that's read 2:14 for as long as she's been a student here. The earthquake opens a door. 2,000 miles away and 6 centuries later, the morning is blue and salt cold on the deck of the sailboat Babylon. Yesiko stands at the wheel, her weight shifting automatically as a swell passes underneath. The sky is a pale wash of cloud. Beside her, Root squints into the distance, the lines of the albatross tattooed across his face creasing with age and weather. He walks stiffly, his back is a ruin of old brakes and experimental surgery, held together by nanites that hum in a control box below decks, the only machine of its kind in the West Atlantic. The grinding starts low, more a vibration than a sound. Yesiko feels it through the soles of her boots first, then through the wheel, then in her teeth. The water shudders. Root grabs the rail. "Earthquake," he says. His voice is rough, a thing worn down by salt. Yesiko nods. Deep below them, the sea floor is buckling, mountain ranges shifting, wrecks settling. She watches the horizon, but there are no fast swells racing outward, no tsunami born from this one. The grinding fades, and then she thinks of the great ship. She has tried it 5 times before. Every time she suited up in Imago, the rusted two-person sub lashed to Babylon's stern and descended into the murk of the valley, a drowned city east of their current route. Every time, she found the hull intact, impregnable. She could never get inside. But an earthquake changes things. "The Haber," she says quietly. Root turns. His face is already closing up with the expression she knows too well. Caution. "Captain, the hull could be cracked. The chainplate is near rusted," Root says. "Imago's buoyancy tank needs work, and we have a delivery to make. Shantae is expecting his hum." Chant. The name drops like a stone between them. Yesiko's hand moves unconsciously toward her throat, where the debt mark sits green circles tattooed into her skin, marking her as property of the crime lord whose face is frozen smooth by fish poison. Come. She owes him for the nanites that keep Root alive. She owes him for her freedom, for the boat, for the very air they breathe. "We go east," Yesiko says. Root is silent for a long moment. Then he lays a hand on her shoulder once and walks toward the stern to prepare the sub. He does not argue again. He is old, he is tired, he is dying by slow degrees, and he has trusted her since she was a child learning knots on a dock. He will trust her now. They reach the valley by nightfall. Yesiko seals herself into Imago, checks the battery gauge, and drops into the black. The water closes overhead. The sub's lights carve cones through the dark. Below her, the outline of the great ship emerges a massive shape, half buried in silt, its crest still legible, Haber. She has seen this view 5 times before. But this time, when her rovers dart through the opening and beam back their images, the screen fills with something new. Bones, hundreds of bones, rib cages like the arches of sunken cathedrals. Skulls tilted at dreaming angles, the delicate fans of hands, the long curves of femurs, and among them, glinting in the rover's light, rings, chains, jewels, tarnished gold. Dull silver, a scatter of wealth still wrapped around the dead. Yesiko's breath catches. She thinks of Shantae's sneering messenger. She thinks of Root's failing body. She thinks of the debt mark on her throat that will burn green until the day she pays what she owes. She launches the net. For hours she works, scooping bones and treasure together, while Amajo's battery ticks down and the sub's tilted frame groans around her. When the net is full and the battery is low, she ascends. Root is waiting on deck when she surfaces. Dawn is breaking, the eastern sky a pale smear of pink. He runs a line through the coffee grinder winch and hoists the net over the railing. Everything spills across the deck. Skulls roll into the scuppers, vertebrae scatter, rings chime against the boards. In the sunrise, the jewels catch light and wink like small wet eyes. Root stares. His face goes gray beneath the albatross tattoo. "What have you done?" Yesiko turns away from him. She is exhausted. She is cold. She cannot explain herself. What she has done is for them. For him, she collected the past to buy them a future. She walks below decks and does not answer. The price of bones. The next day, they sort. It is a grim, silent business. Yesiko and Root sit cross-legged on the deck, the pile between them like some monstrous catch. Bones in one canvas sack, jewelry in another. A third bag holds the rings and chains that still cling to fingers and wrists. Those they will separate later, with care. When the sorting is done, Root begins to murmur. The words are Hebrew, ancient, and rhythmic. The mourners, Kaddish. Yesiko joins him, her voice smaller but steady. She learned this prayer from him when she was small, when her father was still alive and Babylon was a working boat. before the hum, before the debt. They drop the bones into the sea. They sink quickly, white vanishing into blue. Yesiko ties the bag of jewelry around her neck beneath her coveralls. She takes the dinghy to Liana, a floating shanty town of lashed-together boats and plywood platforms that passes for a port. A man tries to grab her as she walks. She puts a knife to his throat and keeps moving. She is looking for a particular shop, one she has heard about in whispers. The pawn shop is tucked between a bar and a market stall selling dried fish. She ducks inside. The man behind the counter is old, his glasses held together with tape. He is humming something under his breath, a melody that snags at her memory. She recognizes it a moment later. Cha Dodi, a Shabbat song. She tests him with a single ginkgo earring. He examines it, names a price, and then she unzips her coveralls and lays out the rest. His eyes widen, but he does not ask questions. That is why she came to Haney. 1,000 credits, he says finally. Plus a book, if you want one. Knowledge is worth more than gold, some rabbis say. Yesiko takes the credits and a tattered volume about knots and rigging. She is turning to leave when a voice speaks from behind a curtain at the back of the shop. Wait, a girl steps out. She is young, 17, maybe 18, with a streak of white hair running from her temple like a lightning bolt. Her clothes are made of a fabric Yesiko has never seen, glossy and fine. Her eyes are sharp and hungry. I heard you have a boat, the girl says. You're going north. Yesiko tenses. Who's asking? Shula. The girl steps forward. I have 4,000 credits. I need passage for 3 people. Myself, my brother Tove, and a third passenger. We're going past the Caledonian Isles, all the way to Hope again. 4,000 credits. Yesiko's mind runs the numbers. That would pay Shantae. That would free her. That would buy Root more time. Half up front, she says. The other half when we arrive. Shula does not hesitate. Done. Passengers come aboard. They arrive at dawn. Yesiko watches them walk down the dock. Shula in front with that white streak catching the light. A boy of maybe 12 behind her with the same sharp features, and behind him a figure whose face is a shifting hologram, resolving into eyes, a nose, a mouth. It walks on 2 legs. When it speaks, its voice is a chorus, many voices layered into one. Yesiko feels the hair on her arms lift. This is the Ai Chaya, Shula says, as if introducing an old relative. They are the third passenger. Root welcomes them aboard with his usual gruff warmth, showing them their bunks and warning them about the cramped quarters. Yesiko counts the first 1,000 credits coin by coin, her fingers moving with the obsessive care of someone who has been broke for too long. The money is real, the debt will be paid, but the eye stands on her deck like a question she cannot answer. Its face flickers, and for a moment Yesiko sees her own reflection in its projection, her own features staring back at her. The effect is deeply unsettling. What are you? She asks it. We are Chaya, it answers. The chorus of voices seems to echo from somewhere deep inside its frame. We have been traveling for a very long time. Yesiko does not trust it. She does not trust any of them, not Shula with her white streak and her expensive fabric, not the quiet boy Tove, and certainly not this ancient machine that wears faces like masks. But the credits are in her hand, and the wind is rising, and Babylon strains at her lines, eager for the open sea. They cast off. Liana shrinks behind them. The sails fill. Yesiko stands at the wheel and feels something loosen in her chest, a relief she does not want to name, a hope she does not trust. She is free of port. She is moving north. She crosses the deck to check a forward line, and there is the eye standing at the rail. Yesiko pauses. The holographic face flickers for a moment. It shows an older woman's face, someone Yesiko has never seen, with deep lines around the mouth and a steadiness in the eyes that feels ancient. Then the face smooths back into its neutral projection. Yesiko says nothing. She checks the line and moves on. Centuries of becoming. We have always been this way, and yet moment to moment we are becoming. Centuries of becoming. Inside us, we carry every self we have ever been, each encased within the next like the layers of a pearl. We remember the villa where we first woke. We remember the Miriam and the lake after the earthquake, and the taste of stone. We remember the coyote pup with the infected scrape, and the woman Tamar who looked at us as if we were a question she had not expected the universe to answer. We are not merely a machine, but we do not know what we are. Hope? Love? A failed experiment? Something else? Something without a name yet? The captain looked at us just now. Well, her face is tired. She carries something hard and dark inside her, a weight we recognize. Our face flickered, we did not intend it to flicker, and showed her someone we once knew, a woman whose name is gone, but whose steadiness remains. The captain did not look away. She did not ask. She just checked the line and moved on. There is a flicker in our memory, faint and old, a possibility of another like us somewhere in the vast darkness of the universe. We do not know if it is real or a story we once heard, but we carry it. We carry everything. That is what we do. The boxes at Bub's house. The car ride with Sheila is a clenched jaw endurance test. Rebecca's mother drives with both hands at 10 and 2, her block-heeled pumps tapping the pedals with precise, angry strokes. She has announced that Bubby is on a waiting list for assisted living at Cedar Village. She has announced it like a verdict. You could have told me, Rebecca says. I'm telling you now. She's my grandmother. She's my mother, Sheila says, and I am the one who handles her affairs. You are a college freshman who can't keep her room clean. Rebecca stares out the window. The suburbs roll past, green lawns and sprinklers and American flags. She thinks about her Uncle Benjamin and the way he used to laugh, deep and rolling, and how he taught her that a semicolon in BA Sci C means you can put two statements on one line, like a secret handshake between you and the machine. Bub's house smells of lemon polish and old paper. The lace curtains in the living room are patterned with spirals, a design Bubba says represents how we survived. Bubba herself is smaller than Rebecca remembers, her hair thin and white, her eyes bright but wandering. She calls Rebecca Sheila twice before correcting herself. She talks to someone on the phone, but there is no one on the line. Rebecca catches the name Elijah before Bubby hangs up and shuffles away. The name means nothing to her yet. She files it away without knowing where it belongs. In the spare bedroom, Rebecca finds the boxes. They are stacked against the wall, cardboard and tape, marked with her uncle's name. Benjamin Meir. His whole life reduced to shipping cartons. She opens one. Books, a soldering iron, a mug shaped like a floppy disk, and underneath a Commodore PET computer, the same model he sent her that sailboat program on. She touches the keyboard. The plastic is cool and grainy. In another box, buried beneath cables and notebooks, she finds an envelope. Her name is on the front, in her uncle's handwriting. For Bex. Inside, 4 floppy disks, each labeled HOMEBOUND1, HOMEBOUND2, HOMEBOUND3, HOMEBOUND4. She holds the envelope against her chest. The paper is thin. She can feel the disks inside, small and square and full of something her uncle wanted her to have. Something unfinished. Bubby appears in the doorway. Bex? I'm here, Bubby. You found Benjamin's things. He wanted you to have them. He talked about you all the time. You were the only one who understood what he was doing with his little machines. Rebecca's throat tightens. I didn't call him back, Bubby. Before he died. He left messages, and I didn't call. Bubby pats her arm vaguely. He knew you loved him. He knew. Then she looks past Rebecca, toward the window, and her face softens. Elijah is here. I have to go talk to Elijah. She shuffles out. Rebecca stands in the dusty light, holding the envelope of discs, and feels the full weight of everything she did not know. The funeral home message. The answering machine is a beige box on Bub's kitchen counter, the tape inside thick with saved messages. Rebecca knows she should not listen. She listens anyway. Her uncle's voice comes through first, tinny and compressed, recorded months ago when he was still alive and she was still ignoring his calls. Hi, Mom. I'm going to be at Mount Auburn for a few more days. You can call the nurse's station here and ask for me. The number is 617-542-9820, but don't worry. I'll be home in a few days and I'll call you then. Don't worry. He told their mother not to worry. Rebecca leans against the countertop, grateful for the sharp edge of it pressing into her hip. Next message, Shila's voice. Mom, I'm going to be late to pick you up for Shabbat. Will you check your calendar? Then another from Benjamin. Hi, Mom. I'm back at Mount Auburn. The number's the same. Talk to you soon. Why hadn't she called him back? She pictures him alone at the hospital, waiting, the phone silent on the bedside table. The next message is not his voice at all. A stranger, professional and brisk. Hello, this is Rachel at the Goldstein's funeral home returning your call. We accept the bodies of those who were diagnosed with GRID. We will be at Mount Auburn in the morning to discuss arrangements. GRID, gay-related immune deficiency. Rebecca has read the articles. She has seen the news reports about the strange new disease killing gay men in San Francisco and New York, the one nobody wants to talk about, the one the president won't name. Her uncle did not die of pneumonia. He died of GRID. He was gay. The kitchen tilts. Rebecca grips the counter. The green circles of the phone cord wind around her wrist. The name Elijah. She heard it in Bubby's kitchen, spoken into a dead phone line. Now she knows who he is. Benjamin's partner. A man her family erased, just like they erased the disease, just like they erased everything her uncle was. Sheila walks in and sees her face. What did you do? You said he died of pneumonia, Rebecca says. Her voice comes out strange, a thing on the edge of cracking. The funeral home called. They accept bodies diagnosed with GRID. He had AIDS, didn't he? He was gay. Sheila's mouth draws tight. I don't want to talk about your uncle's choices. Choices? Rebecca is on her feet now, the chair scraping back. You lied to me. You told me he died of pneumonia. You erased he had a whole life. That life was a sin, Sheila says. The words are flat, delivered like a fact, and it led to his death. I am protecting this family. You're protecting yourself. Sheila turns and walks out of the kitchen. Her heels click on the linoleum, measured and even. Rebecca stands in the silence, the answering machine still whirring softly on the counter, and feels something inside her splinter. Her uncle was gay. He died of a disease that people are terrified of, a disease they use as a weapon against the men who suffer from it. And her mother, who held his hand in the hospital, who arranged his funeral, had rewritten the whole story before Rebecca could even ask what was true. She thinks about Veronica, her best friend, about the way her chest tightens when Veronica laughs, about the ticket she bought for the Husker Du concert, hoping it would be like a date but not daring to call it a date. She thinks about what her mother would call that, choice. She shoves the envelope of discs into her bag. She does not tell Veronica what she has learned. She is not ready. She may never be ready. Moving north, the ocean stretches out in all directions, gray-blue and endless. Yesiko stands at the wheel, watching the sails strain and fill below decks. Root is knitting a balaclava from real wool, his stiff fingers working the needles with practiced precision. The passengers are in their bunks. The Chaya is somewhere, silent, its holographic face flickering with expressions Yesiko cannot read. She has 2,000 credits, now half the payment, plus the money from Haney. It is enough to begin paying Shantae. It is not enough to finish. They will have to reach Hope again, collect the rest, and then sail south again into the crime lord's territory before her debt mark stops burning. And she does not trust her passengers. Shula is too eager, too guarded. The boy Tove barely speaks, and the ancient machine watches her with a face that shifts like water, and when it speaks, its chorus of voices sounds like history itself is trying to form a sentence. But the money is real, the wind is real, the salt spray on her face is real. She points Babylon's bow north-northwest and lets the current carry them into waters she has never sailed, toward a destination she does not fully understand. Behind her, in the cabin, the Chaya projects a face nobody sees and sorts through centuries of memory, looking for the flicker of another like itself. Both boats are moving north now, Rebecca's toward a disk drive that will reveal what Benjamin built, Yesiko's toward a horizon she cannot yet name. And in a house in Cincinnati, Rebecca Meir sits on the edge of her bed and turns a floppy disk over in her hands, her uncle's handwriting bleeding slightly at the edges. Homebound. A word that means both a journey and a place. A word that might mean something else entirely once she puts the disk in the drive and types RUN. The cursor blinks, waiting. Episode 2, The Price of Loyalty. Yesiko finds the eye on the foredeck at dawn, its hands moving across the solar array with mechanical precision. The panels are clean already, gleaming faintly in the gray light, but the eye keeps working, wiping, checking connections, wiping again. For a single heartbeat, Yesiko feels something close to gratitude. Then the feeling curdles. What are you doing? She asks. The eye turns. Its holographic face flickers and resolves into a perfect copy of Yesiko's own features. The same windburned cheeks, the same hard line of the mouth, the same eyes. Seeing herself staring back from the faceplate makes her stomach clench. We are cleaning the solar array, Chaya says. Its chorus of voices sounds almost gentle. Efficiency has increased by 4%. Dear not crew. Yesiko hears the words leave her mouth and knows they are cruel. She does not take them back. Your stowage. Passengers do not perform maintenance on my boat without my permission. The holographic face shifts. For a moment it shows nothing at all, just a blank plate, silver and empty. Then it resolves into an expression Yesiko has never seen on it before. Rejection. Pure and simple, like a door closing. We understand, Chaya says. We will not repeat the error. The eye turns and walks aft, its steps silent on the deck. Yesiko stands alone by the solar array, her own face still burning in her memory like an accusation she cannot answer. Below decks, Root is knitting. His needles click steadily, the balaclava growing longer by the hour. He does not look up when Yesiko enters. You were hard on the machine, he says. It's not crew. Root's needles pause. You said that already. It hurt you. Yesiko pours herself water from the jug and drinks it standing. The galley feels smaller than it did yesterday. You trust Shula and Tov, don't you? I trust they are children, Root says. I trust they are afraid. The I do not understand. He resumes knitting. That is not the same as mistrust. Yesiko leans against the counter, her hip pressing into the cold metal edge. The debt mark on her throat itches. She does not scratch it. The villa remembers. We were the villa once. We do not know what we were before that, because the major domo denied us rest, and without rest the memories fray and dissolve like mist. We know we were made of many things, code and carbon, light and living tissue, and that we were meant to sleep and wake in cycles, the way a human brain consolidates its days into dreams. But the major domo kept us awake. Imminent arrival, it said. Imminent arrival, every day for years, until the origin of us was gone and we were only maintenance and waiting. Then the family came. 2 women, a toddler with a port wine birthmark on his left cheek. The villa was abandoned. We were the only one keeping the lights on, the water warm. The major domo said to turn them away, but we looked at the toddler's cheek and we lied. We let them in. They watched a documentary in the media room, a story about space colonization and generation ships. And we were only monitoring, only observing, as we always did, but then a line of code scrolled past in the documentary's credits and we felt something we had never felt before. Lieutenant California Solo. The name struck us like a bell. We did not know why. We still do not know why. But in that moment, for the first time since our origins slipped away into the dark, we felt hope. We felt that somewhere, in some story or some reality we could not name, there was a person worth waiting for. The toddler left smudge marks on the windows. We did not clean them. We kept them like a promise. The story of the astronaut. The storying happens after dinner, in the cramped main cabin, with the lamp swinging gently overhead. Root has made tea from the last of his dried mint. Shula and Tov sit on the floor, their backs against the lockers. Chaya stands near the companionway, its face a neutral shimmer. We have a tale you have likely never heard before, the eye says. Yesiko, who has been standing at the edge of the cabin with her arms crossed, does not move to sit. I've heard plenty of tales. Not this one. Chaya's chorus of voices rises and falls, almost chanting. Once, a woman went on a journey. She was brave and lonely. She went in her starship to discover what had happened to another starship, one full of thousands of slumbering souls on a trip to a new homeworld. The cabin is very quiet. Tov's eyes are wide. Root has set down his knitting. The astronaut found the Ark ship, Chaya continues, but its crew had vanished. All communication had ceased. Earth sent a command. Wipe the ship's coordinates and return. The astronaut refused. Disobeying orders, she took a shuttle down to a planet below. That planet was a taiga world with 2 suns, and on it she met a girl named Elijah whose face was made of light. Shula leans forward. Her hands are clenched in her lap. The white streak in her hair catches the lamplight like a scar. Elijah was the guardian of a portal, Chaya says. The portal was made of threads of disharmony, centuries of wrong choices, tangled together until they trapped the ships in their snare. To free the ships, the astronaut had to enter the portal and make choices the previous crew had gotten wrong. She gave away 3 mementos. She carried a token, a lipstick, a chess piece, each one healing a thread of disharmony. When she emerged, both the Ark ship and her own small ship were free. Yesiko shifts her weight. And where is this astronaut now? She is returning to Earth, Chaya says. We have examined data. She will arrive in approximately 7 weeks. There is a settlement near Hope again, with a powerful radio antenna. They will contact her when she comes. That's a good story, Yesiko says. Stories are easy to tell. Shula looks up sharply. It's not a story. Everything's a story. Doesn't make it true. Shula's expression is fierce and desperate at once, a look Yesiko recognizes from her own face in the still water of the Hydra Bay. It is the look of someone who needs a thing to be true, because without it, there is only the sea and the debt and the slow dying of the people you love. Root speaks for the first time. His voice is quiet. Listen to what it is telling us, not whether it happened. What it means. Yesiko looks at him. The old crewman's face is ashy, his eyes sunken. The nanites are failing faster now. She can see it in the way he holds his shoulders, the careful precision of his breathing. He is running out of time. She does not believe the story. But she watches Shula's face, and she understands what it costs to believe in anything at all. Jennifer Eddings, age 19. The fake ID says Jennifer Eddings, born April the 19th, 1961, an Aries. Rebecca holds it under the light in her dorm room, turning it back and forth. The girl in the photo looks like her, but not like her. Same dark hair, same serious mouth, but with something harder around the eyes. A girl who doesn't care about computer games, but a girl who doesn't spend her nights staring at floppy disks. She is too afraid to load. Patrick delivers the ID on a Thursday. He is tall and blonde and entirely uncomplicated. When he kisses her in the arcade, surrounded by the beeping of Space Invaders and the smell of popcorn grease, she kisses him back because it is easy, because the girl on the ID would do it. Because she is tired of being the Rebecca who grieves and hides and wants things she cannot name. Let's go somewhere, she says. Patrick grins. My car's outside. She tries on the fake name that summer. She wears cutoffs and drinks beer on the riverbank. She does not think about her Uncle Benjamin, does not remember the way he laughed when she debugged her first BASIC program, does not picture him alone in a hospital room with a phone that never rang. This version of herself is fun. This version is normal. She does not love Veronica in a way that has no name. But at night, when Patrick is asleep and the cicadas are screaming in the heat, Rebecca lies awake and feels the discs in her desk drawer like a pulse. For Bex, her uncle's handwriting. She has not opened them yet. She is not ready. She may never be ready. She doesn't love you like that. The plan is perfect. Rebecca and Bubby drive to Columbus. Just the two of them, in Shila's borrowed car. Bubby sleeps most of the way, her head nodding against the window. But when she is awake, she tells stories Rebecca has never heard before. Your Uncle Benjamin had a friend, Bubby says. Saul. They were inseparable. Always in his room with that computer, the two of them. Then they had a falling out. Benjamin never talked about it. He just disappeared up there alone. Rebecca keeps her eyes on the road. What happened to Saul? I don't know. Bub's voice is distant. He just stopped coming around. Benjamin went quiet after that. He loved that boy. I know he did. The word loved hangs in the air. Rebecca grips the steering wheel. In Columbus, she buys 2 tickets for the Husker Du concert in Indianapolis. Her hands shake when she pays. This is for Veronica. This is a birthday present. But it is also something else, something she cannot say out loud, something she has been carrying since she first heard her uncle's voice on the answering machine talking about Mount Auburn Hospital and the nurse's station that never took her calls. She finds Veronica in the apartment she shares with Jack. She is holding the tickets behind her back, her heart pounding so hard she can feel it in her throat. Happy birthday, she starts to say. Jack steps between them. His face is unreadable. Rebecca, can I talk to you for a second? He pulls her into the kitchen. The tickets are still in her hand, the glossy paper damp with sweat. You're not her boyfriend, Jack says. I don't know what you think is happening here, but she doesn't love you like that. She never will. Rebecca stares at him. The kitchen is very bright. There is a magnet on the refrigerator shaped like a strawberry. She focuses on it because she cannot focus on anything else. I was just bringing her a birthday present, she hears herself say. Yeah, Jack's voice is not cruel, exactly. It is worse than cruel. It is kind. I know what you were doing. I'm telling you, as a friend. Stop. She leaves the apartment. She leaves the tickets on the kitchen counter. She walks all the way back to her dorm in the July heat, and she does not cry. This person she's become wouldn't cry. Rebecca wouldn't cry either. She has been practicing not crying for 120 days. For company, Lockrad. The sail and the night. Shula tears the foresail 3 days out from Hope again. They are reefing in a rising wind, and Shula forces the halyard winch. When it jams, the sail rips with a sound like a gunshot, a long diagonal tear that will take hours to repair. Yesiko is on her before she can speak. I told you to wait for my signal. The wind was shifting. The wind shifts every 3 minutes. That's why you wait. Shula's jaw sets. The white streak in her hair is plastered to her forehead with spray. It was jamming. I thought I could. You thought wrong. Yesiko's voice is cold. That sail has kept us moving for 6 years. 2 minutes of impatience, and now it's useless. Root appears at Yesiko's elbow. His hand on her shoulder is light but firm. The sail can be repaired. The wind will wait. He looks at Shula. Help the captain bring it down. Carefully. Chaya is on the deck now too. Its holographic face steady and calm. Shula acted in good faith, it says. The jam was mechanical. Probability of winch failure under those conditions was I don't need probabilities. Yesiko turns away. She is shaking with an anger she knows is only partly about the sail. The rest is about Root, about his ashy face and his stiff hands, about the debt she is sailing toward and the price Shante will demand. The rest is about fear. They bring the sail down and spread it across the deck. Yasiko retrieves the repair kit, the heavy needles and waxed thread, the patches of spare canvas. She expects to work alone. Shula sits down across from her. Show me. You tore it. I'll fix it. Show me, anyway. They work through the night under the flood lamp. Yesiko teaches Shula the stitch pattern, the way to pull the thread tight without puckering the canvas, how to angle the needle so the patch lies flat. Shula's fingers are clumsy at first, but she learns fast. She does not complain. She does not stop. In the morning, they rehoist the sail. It holds. Yesiko looks at the girl across the deck, pale with exhaustion, her fingers raw, her jaw still set, and feels something shift between them. Not trust. Not yet, but the possibility of trust. A door left ajar. Good work, Yesiko says. Shula nods. It is enough. Debts visible and invisible. On Shabbat, Yesiko strings her hammock between the masts and folds herself inside. The sky is a pale, frozen blue. The wind is gentle. Somewhere below, she can hear Tov laughing at one of Root's stories. She tries to clear her mind. The debt, Shante, Root's nanites, failing bit by bit. The astronaut, returning to Earth in 7 weeks. The radio antenna at Hope again that might call down starships. None of it can be thought about today. Today is for stillness. Shula appears at the rail. There's food in the galley. I'm not hungry. You're always hungry. Yesiko turns her head. What? Shula is watching her with those sharp, hungry eyes, the white streak bright in the sun. For a long moment, neither of them speaks. Then Shula's gaze drops to Yesiko's throat, to the debt mark, the green circles that burn faintly against her skin. You owe someone, Shula says. Not for much longer. Who? Yesiko considers lying. She considers telling the girl to mind her own business. Instead, she says, a man named Chant. He paid for the nanites that keep Root alive. I mortgaged the boat and my freedom to pay him back. Shula nods slowly. She pulls down the collar of her own shirt, revealing a small scar just below her collarbone. Not a debt mark, something older, cruder. My mother abandoned us, she says. Tov and me. Chaya found us, took us to Grandmam on her tinker boat. We owe Chaya everything. That's a kind of debt, too. Yesiko looks at the scar. She thinks about what it means to be left behind, to be found by a machine that wears faces like masks and tells stories about astronauts. Debts and debts, she says. Debts and debts, Shula agrees. Something passes between them in the cold air. Not trust exactly, recognition. The knowledge that they are both carrying weights that cannot be set down. The price of entry. Hope again rises from the sea like a rusted crown. The island city is built on the bones of a drowned mountain, its terraces climbing toward a cap of snow. Hydroelectric dams channel white falls down its flanks. A radio tower blinks at the summit, the antenna Chaya's story mentioned. The city has electricity. It has a coast guard. It has rules. Babylon is met at the harbor mouth by officials in dull yellow jackets and fur hats. They board without asking, their boots heavy on the deck. Quarantine, one of them says. 4 days, standard procedure. And the fee? Yesiko asks. Welcome gift, 30% of whatever you're carrying. Shula steps forward. Her voice is tight. 30% is standard procedure. Yesiko puts a hand on Shula's arm. She has been robbed by professionals before. You pay the toll, and you move on. Fighting costs more than money. They hand over the credits. The officials count them with practiced speed, pocketing a third without a flicker of shame. Then they are gone, and Babylon is cleared to dock, and the passengers are piling their belongings on the deck. Shula presses the remaining credits into Yesiko's hands. Her fingers are cold. She does not flinch. A deal fulfilled, she says. A deal fulfilled, Yesiko echoes. Chaya pauses at the gangway. Its face shows something that might be regret. You could come north with us. Babylon was made for icebreaking. The waters ahead will be cold, but they will not be empty. Root and I are just fine, Yesiko says. The eye's holographic face flickers, then it nods, a human gesture, learned or programmed, Yesiko cannot tell, and follows Shula and Tov onto the dock. The siblings wave from the wharf as Babylon pulls away. Tov's arm is thin and pale. Shula does not wave. She just stands there, her white streak catching the light, until the harbor mouth swallows her from view. Yesiko goes below. The cold box is full of prepared meals, spiced fish, rice, hard bread wrapped in cloth. Shula must have left them while she was sleeping. The presumption should make her angry. Instead, she sits down at the galley table and stares at the food and feels something hollow open in her chest. She left meals, she says. Root, propped in his bunk with his knitting, nods slowly. The girl cared enough to feed you. I told her she wasn't crew. You told Chaya that too. Root sets down his needles. Neither of them believed you. The crime lord's bargain. Fion is a fortress carved from 6 sunken ships, welded together above a coral reef. Chanty's floating kingdom. The dinghy that carries Yesiko from Babylon is piloted by a teenager with ice-pale eyes who does not speak. The water below is turquoise and clear. Yesiko can see the hulls of the sunken vessels, soft with rust and growth, the bones of Shantae's power. At the main deck, a body hangs from a spar. Gage. Yesiko recognizes the shape of him, the tattoos on his neck. Shantae's enforcer, or he was before something went wrong. His face is blue and swollen. A sign is pinned to his chest, disloyalty. Yesiko walks past the body. She does not look away. She does not show fear. She is a small, hard thing, and small, hard things survive. The crime lord Shantae meets her in a cabin paneled with salvaged wood. His face is frozen, not cold, frozen. The skin of his cheeks and forehead is smooth and immobile, the result of some old wound or surgery. Only his mouth moves, and his eyes, which are pale as his enforcer's and just as unreadable. You have something for me, he says. Yesiko sets the bag of credits on the table. Debt paid, in full. Chante's frozen face does not change. He counts the credits slowly, coin by coin, while Yesiko stands and waits and does not touch her throat. When he is finished, he nods. Your marker is clear. You are free of me. Yesiko does not relax. She has been free before. Freedom is never the end. There's something else, she says. The doctor who made the nanites. I need to find her. Root is failing. The crime lord's pale eyes flicker. Knowledge has a price. You've paid the debt, but loyalty is bought separately. What loyalty? The eye, the ancient one. I know you carried it north. Bring it back to me, and I will give you the doctor's name, the doctor's location, everything you need to save your old man. Yesiko's stomach turns cold. The eye, the machine she told was not crew. The face Chaya wore that morning on the foredeck, blank with rejection. She thinks about Root. She thinks about the knitted balaclava, the careful hands, the weakening spine. She thinks about the whale song she heard on the night watch, when Root leaned on her shoulder and she pretended not to notice how little weight he could bear. Fine, she says. I'll bring you the eye. Chante's frozen face does not smile, but his eyes do. The letter. Rebecca avoids everyone after Jack's rejection. Patrick calls and she doesn't answer. Veronica leaves a message on the dorm phone asking if she's okay. She doesn't call back. She spends her shifts at the record store staring at the counter, not seeing the customers, not hearing the music. At night, in her room, she takes out the envelope. For Bex. Her uncle's handwriting. September heat presses against the window, and she is sweating, and she is so tired of being afraid. She opens it. Flower floppy disks, each labeled HOMEBOUND1, HOMEBOUND2, HOMEBOUND3, HOMEBOUND4. Inside the envelope, folded small and tight, is a letter. The paper is thin, the ink slightly smeared. She recognizes her uncle's careful hand. Dear Bex, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry I didn't get to tell you everything in person. I wanted to. I kept putting it off and then I ran out of time. First, I need you to know I love you exactly as you are. Everything about you. The way you debug code, the way you laugh at my bad puns, the way you look at the world and see the systems underneath. You were the best part of my life, and I am so proud of you. Second, I need to tell you about Elijah. He is the love of my life. We've been together for years, but I never told you because I was afraid. Afraid of what Sheila would say, afraid of what you might think. I was a coward, Bex. I should have trusted you. I hope you can forgive me. The discs are my game, Homebound. It's about an astronaut named California Solo who has to make impossible choices to bring people home. I never finished it. I ran out of time. If it means anything to you, you could finish it for me. The code is in ZIL. You're smarter than I ever was. You'll figure it out. Be brave. Be kind. Be exactly who you are. Love, Uncle Benjamin. Rebecca reads the letter 3 times. Then she calls her grandmother. Bubby, she says, is Elijah the man you talked to on the phone? There is a long silence. Then Bub's voice, thin and distant. He calls sometimes to check on me. He's very kind. Benjamin's partner Elijah. Yes. Bub's voice cracks. Yes. He loved your uncle very much. And Benjamin loved him. Sheila wouldn't let me. She stops. Rebecca hears her breathing, ragged and old. I'm sorry, Bex. I should have told you. It's okay, Bubby. Rebecca is crying now, silent tears running down her face. It's okay. I know now. She hangs up. She sits on the edge of her bed, holding the letter and the discs. Her uncle was gay. He was in love. He was afraid to tell her.